This is Land of the Wookiee here at Improv Boston in Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm here with...
I'm Jake Young.
Nathan Anderson.
Of Geek Comedy Tour, and we're here for Geek Week at Improv Boston.
Your name is Land of the Wookiee? Really not good.
See if you catch that.
Land of, for short. The only character in all of Star Wars that looks like he even remotely has had sex. You like that guy? This is going to be a very avant-garde interview. It's going to like start and stop. Did you know that we're at the Improv Boston right now for
really?
Geek Week? Did you know that?
Imagine that. Wow. Can
Yeah.
you tell us a little about that, Jake?
Well, it's a nerd-themed comedy festival that takes place every year here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in the shadow of MIT. But yeah, it started about 5-6 years ago. Comedian Chris Barelick, picture now going to get superimposed right here. And so we started offering our services as live entertainment, and we started gathering more conventions and then more colleges. Every school has an anime club, and we were just like, hey, we do a fun show, check out our video, check us out. And now we do about 1 or 2 shows a month all over the East Coast. And it's a lot of fun because sometimes you can't make a joke that only people who played far too many Nintendo games will get. Like, I'm going to tell a joke today that involves the Sound Blaster 16 audio card. And if you did that at a normal comedy club...
Ad-lib.
So, yeah, like, I've done shows where I was just like, hey, y'all remember Pac-Man? And people were like, I guess. I feel no emotional attachment to it. It's just a video game. So it's just kind of a fun way to be as dorky and have as much fun as on stage as possible. Yeah, Nathan, how did you get into stand-up?
Well, I just went to an open mic. Pretty much, yeah. Ever since I was little, I wanted people to like me for no reason, and not do any.
Well, it's because to recognize your greatness.
It really did evolve. I think most of the geek, I mean, it does evolve out of a, like, people who are laughing at you aren't going to kick your ass, and so, or yet, right away. You can buy, yourself time. Yeah. And the trick is, yeah, if they're laughing beforehand, they're not as angry. So, yeah, it's a survival mechanism, I guess.
That's true.
Which means it's totally worthless here because all of my stuff is targeted at dumb people who wanted to hit me.
What advice can you give to today's generation of geeks who, you know, they're dealing with a whole new wide array of ways to get bullied online and all the other different struggles that they're facing today?
Is it really a struggle? Like, anytime I ever see someone getting cyberbullied, it's always like, it seems to be like kids and families that don't understand how computers work, and that you can just log off of MySpace.
Well, yeah, it's like, yeah, they get cyberbullied. They also don't have to find porn in a box in the woods. So, suck it up, Buttercup.
Going to these conventions, especially like these regional anime conventions, once we were at PortCon, Maine, in Portland, Maine, and like just the kids are all right. The kids are fine. Like, being a geek now is kind of awesome. You find a girlfriend on the internet. You go to these raves. You go do whatever you want.
You learn you're not alone. That's amazing. Like, when we were kids and geeks, like, you were alone. You couldn't get on the internet and be
there was that
10,000 people play Dungeons and Dragons. There were like 6 of you, and you didn't even like each other, but you had to hang.
The only thing, I guess, that is a warning to the geeks of the future, and I'm looking at you, Bill, William, I'm talking to you. Just because you have to have a personality on the internet doesn't mean that you have to cement your personality at age 14. I've seen like way too many people.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, you can change your username when you become an adult. You do not need to be Neo Demi-Force XX like into your 30s so that you don't have to relearn. Your email address needs to be your first name and your last name.
What would be your advice to today's culture when it comes to, you know, women?
I'm sorry, what now?
The women, they're those things with the curves.
Oh,
I think they're really nice to look at.
I don't.
Yes.
I mean, the only piece of real advice is, despite what the people who you hated in grade school told you, you don't actually suck, and the women you meet never knew you when people told you you suck. So just act like you don't suck, and whoever you're talking to will be like, "Oh, this person doesn't suck." Like just internalize that, and the rest is fairly easy. Because that whenever you're like nervous, or especially the idea of like the anxious nerd guy, it's because he's internalized all the feelings of worthlessness that were kind of like slung against him.
The first girl I ever asked out, like I worked up the balls. I was like 14 or something, and so I finally, screw it, man. You only live once. I'm not gonna regret this. And so I asked her out, called her up on my landline, asked her out, and she said yes. And I felt like awesome for like 2 hours, and then she called me back. I was like, hell yeah, first call from the girlfriend. And she's like, oh, were you serious? Oh. And she was like, oh, I thought, yeah, you're just so, and so that was my, and I didn't have a girlfriend for 5 years after that. So, but I was very good at Tony Hawk 2. Very good, and GoldenEye. And that eventually found me a woman, and that's my advice. Marry the first real girlfriend you have, and then never deal with it again.
We're anxious. There's a bunch of cool shows going down here. And if you want to know more about the Geek Comedy Tour, you can check out geekcomedytour.com. And for more about Geek Week and Improv Boston, it's geekweekcomedy.com. And I think you should go to that, especially you, William. Especially William.
Mr. Shatner.
A.K.A. Neo Demi Ford.